Welcome to Black and Red Talks, your daily dose of AC Milan news. Maignan holds steady at a 6 despite a few hiccups. Walker shines at a solid 6.5 with his elevated performance. Both Tomori and Pavlovic impress as defensive walls at 7. Theo gets a 6 for his 2 assists. Musa peaks in the first half, earning a 6. Fofana and Reijnders don't quite hit the mark at 5.5. Felix holds his own with a 6, while Joao Felix scores a dream debut goal, earning a 7. Abraham nets 2, ranking a 6.5. Gimenez and Gimenez both log 6.5, with noteworthy contributions coming off the bench. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, AC Milan is keen on keeping Tammy Abraham, who scored twice in last night's Coppa Italia match, beyond June 30. Talks with Roma will aim to turn his loan swap with sailmakers into a permanent deal. Nicolo Schira has shared insights on Luka Jovic's future at AC Milan. Despite interest from clubs in Turkey, Italy, France, and Russia, Jovic wants to stay with Milan. However, his contract is set to expire in June and won't be renewed. Big day for AC Milan fans, as new signings Riccardo Sottil and Warren Bondo are set for their introductory press conference today. Originally scheduled for 4 p.m., it's now happening at 2 p.m. at Milanello. Milan News 24 will provide live coverage of the January arrivals. AC Milan's triumph over Roma in the Coppa Italia quarterfinals. Joao Felix stole the show. Subbed in for Pulisic, Felix won a crucial yellow card and delivered a sensational chip to make it 3-1, electrifying San Siro. His debut goal suggests he could become a key player. AC Milan is aiming to keep Tammy Abraham at Milanello beyond June 30. After his impressive double in the Coppa Italia, Milan is negotiating with Roma to turn his loan swap with sailmakers into a permanent deal. Let's see if this exciting move comes to fruition. Big news from the Milan transfer scene, reported by Marca. Before landing Joao Felix, AC Milan set their sights on Ferran Torres, but Barcelona wasn't interested in negotiations. Meanwhile, Napoli inquired about Kvaratskhelia amidst his PSG signing. Felix debuted with a goal against Roma in Coppa Italia last night. Sport gave Pavlovic glowing reviews for his stellar performance in Milan's 3-1 victory over Roma in the Coppa Italia quarterfinals at San Siro. They praised his commanding presence on the field, noting that while he's not quite Nesta, he certainly energizes the Rossoneri spirit. After dominating the winter transfer window with impressive deals, Milan is now shifting focus to contract renewals. Maignan's extension is nearly finalized, while Reijnders seems set to follow. However, negotiations for Theo are at a standstill. For Pulisic, an agreement is yet to be reached, but the club remains optimistic about sealing the deal. According to Repubblica's Curo, Santiago Gimenez's arrival at AC Milan has taken the club by storm. This Buenos Aires-born forward, who moved to Mexico at age 3, is stirring debates over his nationality while boosting commercial revenues and attracting more Latin American journalists to Milan. AC Milan is in a tight race on the transfer market for Samuele Ricci, a midfielder who may replace Inter's exiting Frattesi. Inter still has eyes on Ricci, fueling a Milan derby in the transfer arena. Ricci's arrival might hinge on Aslani's uncertain future and any moves involving Calhanoglu. Some intriguing updates from AC Milan's January transfer market saga. Turns out Milan initially aimed for Ferran Torres, but Barcelona declined even to discuss it. Instead, they landed Joao Felix, who made a stunning debut, scoring against Roma in the Coppa Italia match last night. Tammy Abraham stole the spotlight in Milan's Coppa Italia win against Roma, scoring twice in the first half. With 8 goals and 5 assists so far this season across all competitions, he's proving to be a game-changer for the team. Bravo, Tammy! Referee Marco Piccinini faced scrutiny this season, but in Milan's clash with Roma, he kept things mostly on track. A notable incident was a first-half collision between Hummels and Abraham. The call could have gone either way. Milan's goal stood after offside checks, except for a 3-2 candidate by Jovic, deemed offside on review. Bone received a yellow card, but Sailmakers escaped despite stepping on Theo's foot. Some felt extra time was shortchanged amid substitutions and VAR reviews. At 2 p.m. today, Warren Bondo and Riccardo Sottil are set to meet the press at Milanello, introducing themselves as AC Milan's newest players. They had plans to greet fans at the flagship store Unveiled, but that's off for now. Stay tuned for updates on rescheduling. AC Milan faces growing competition in the transfer market for Samuele Ricci. While he's eyed as a successor to Frattesi at Inter, Milan is still in the race. His potential signing hinges on Inter's decisions about Aslani and any market moves involving Calhanoglu. The Milan versus Inter transfer derby continues. On his profile, market expert Nicolo Schira shared insights about Luka Jovic's future. Despite interest from clubs in Turkey, Italy, France, and Russia, Jovic is keen to stay at Milan. However, with his contract ending in June, it won't be renewed. AC Milan's January transfer market is shaking up the squad under Sergio Conceição for the rest of the season. According to La Repubblica, Milan's targets include Antonio Silva, a 2003-born Benfica and Portugal defender, and Samuele Ricci, a 2001-born midfielder from Torino and Italy. Talks with both clubs are underway, and Milan is eager to seal the deals. Following their victory over Roma in the Coppa Italia quarterfinals, AC Milan is eyeing the final showdown in Rome on May 14th. Beyond the glory, a win offers almost €10 million and entry into the 2026 Supercoppa Final Four, doubling that prize for the champion. Theo Hernandez was on fire in the Coppa quarterfinals against Roma, setting up 2 goals for Tammy Abraham, who scored twice. This performance boosts Theo's season tally to 4 goals and 5 assists. He now stands alongside Denzel Dumfries and Nuno Tavares in combined goals and assists for defenders. In a thrilling 3-1 win over Roma in the Coppa Italia quarterfinals, AC Milan's fresh faces Santiago Gimenez and Joao Felix made an explosive impact, teaming up for a decisive goal. Their impressive debut is reminiscent of Reijnders and Pulisic's memorable start last August against Bologna, where Reijnders set up Pulisic's debut goal. AC Milan has made it to the Coppa Italia semifinals for the 25th time, joining Juventus and Inter as the only teams with such a record. The Rossoneri achieved this milestone by defeating Roma in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, Juventus and Inter will face Empoli and Lazio in their quarterfinal matches at the end of February. AC Milan earned €61.37 million from the Champions League, plus an estimated €15 million from stadium revenue. This funding helped the Rossoneri invest in players like Santiago Gimenez and Joao Felix. Advancing past the playoffs could boost their earnings even further. Last night, AC Milan secured a 3-1 victory over Roma, with Abraham scoring twice and Joao Felix adding another. This win advances them to the Coppa Italia semifinals. Come April, they'll face either Inter or Lazio. Meanwhile, the quarterfinal showdown is set for next Tuesday at 9 o'clock at San Siro. In today's press conference, AC Milan introduced new signings Bondo and Sottil. Former Monza midfielder Bondo confidently addressed coach Conceição about his versatility. Playing as either a playmaker or mezzala is easy for me. I'm ready to adapt for both the coach and the team. Last night, AC Milan triumphed over Roma, winning 3-1 to advance to the Coppa Italia semifinals. Tammy Abraham, facing his former team, scored twice. However, when substituted, he was booed by Roma fans, prompting him to flaunt the Conference League victory gesture in response. Reijnders has undeniably been a standout this season for AC Milan. The Dutch midfielder has quickly become a key player, dazzling fans with his performances. With 11 goals and 3 assists in just under half the season's games, he's solidifying his status as one of Europe's top talents in his position. AC Milan outshined Roma last night with a 3-1 victory, advancing to the Coppa Italia semifinals. Star newcomer Gimenez made his debut. His father shared a touching post saying, "Moments we'll cherish forever. Seeing you achieve your dreams is extraordinary. I'm so proud. Love you, my son." AC Milan is eyeing Torino's captain Ricci for the next transfer window. Despite his recent contract renewal, the Rossoneri are keen to bring him to Milanello. Torino managed to keep him mid-season, but a summer offer over €30 million will be necessary. Last night, AC Milan triumphed over Roma with a 3-1 win, securing their spot in the Coppa Italia semifinals. Now, Joao and his squad are gearing up for their match against Empoli. The Portuguese coach won't hold a press conference tomorrow, focusing instead on prepping his team for the game. Nicolo Schira recently shared an update on AC Milan's Luka Jovic on social media. Despite interest from clubs in Turkey, Italy, France, and Russia, Jovic intends to stay with Milan. However, his contract expiring in June won't be renewed. AC Milan's official Champions League squad has been announced, leaving out Bondo, Jovic, Sottil, and Gimenez. The main lineup includes names like Maignan, Tomori, and Theo Hernandez, along with new faces like Loftus-Cheek and Joao Felix. Italian homegrown talent like Sportiello and Florenzi also feature, accompanied by the club's very own Gabbia. Youngsters on List B showcase bright prospects like Nava and Camarda. Exciting times ahead for the Rossoneri in Europe. Following their triumph over Roma in the Coppa Italia quarterfinals, AC Milan is laser-focused on the grand finale in Rome on May 14th. Winning doesn't just mean glory, it comes with nearly €10 million and access to the lucrative 2026 Supercoppa Final Four, doubling their potential earnings. AC Milan is keen on keeping Tammy Abraham at Milanello beyond June 30. After his stunning brace in the Coppa Italia, Milan will need to negotiate with Roma to make his loan switch permanent, exchanging him with sailmakers. Stay tuned for more on these transfer talks. AC Milan, after a bustling winter transfer window, is shifting focus to contract renewals. Maignan's deal is almost sealed, while there's optimism for Reijnders. However, talks with Theo Hernandez have hit a pause. As for Pulisic, an agreement seems distant, but the club remains confident in reaching a deal. AC Milan's blockbuster signing, Santiago Gimenez, has fans buzzing. The Mexican striker, formerly of Feyenoord, is donning the iconic number 7 jersey, recently worn by Alvaro Morata. Since his arrival and jersey reveal, merchandise sales have skyrocketed by an incredible 388%. Samuele Chukwueze nearly left AC Milan during the final hours of the transfer window. Fulham, in particular, showed strong interest in the Nigerian forward. According to Matteo Moretto, the English club offered around €30 million, but there wasn't enough time to finalize the details, such as whether the deal would be a loan with an obligation to buy.